Been so long, I forgot what I was going to ask you.
Kirby mentioned yesterday or Monday he's had some run-ins with you on the practice field, disagreements with you on the practice field before. What do you remember about those?
Well, no, he was just saying just a little altercation between me and him my freshman year. I just didn't know how to take hard coaching, but then when I found out,
So he would try to coach you up, and you wouldn't take to it well, and you fire back, and he'd fire back. And
yeah, pretty much.
when it was just your freshman year?
Freshman and a little bit of sophomore fall camp.
I imagine that does take some adjustment, doesn't it? Somebody like Kirby who tend to be pretty intense. Is that your experience?
Yes, sir. He's a pretty intense coach, but I adjusted well, and it is what it is.
How have you been able to overcome I guess Kirby talked a lot about your inconsistency, about making great catches and then other catches not so much, but then this fall we've seen you running first team. What was the adjustment for you during the offseason that's enabled you to take that big step?
Just putting in a lot of extra work. Times when I don't feel like doing that, and I still have to get up and go get it.
He also mentioned your special teams play. I mean, how did you get yourself geared up for, I don't know, embracing that, I suppose?
I really just bought in. In high school, I didn't really play a lot of special teams, and I didn't know how serious it was till I got here. So when I got here, I just really locked in. But finally, I bought in, and it's just been a help to the team.
So as you went through that process and kind of bought in there, did you have a motivation, I guess? Is there anything back home in Florida or anything off the field that kind of motivated you through that?
Yeah, I got a lot of motivation, really. My mom, my brother, just really my family and the people I care about.
What's that position you play? Is it gunner, hold up, or something like that?
R1.
R1, and that's when you're basically blocking the other team's gunner. What have you found that Jason Stanley, I think, might have been the best in the world at that, was here before. What are some of the things that you had to just learn to do in order to play that position?
Actually, a couple of days ago, I talked to Jason and how to better my technique, and he gave me some advice on just stand in the inside, don't let him get inside, and just look at their inside hip, and it'll help you adjust when the ball snap.
You said you put in a lot of extra work. What were the kinds of things that you did?
Really just extra running, extra balls at night, and sometimes middle of the day or in the morning whenever I had the chance to do it.
Who would feed you? Who'd you go out there with?
Me and Kier Jackson, and sometimes really just a lot of the receivers.
So on the defensive end, so when you're going up against J.J. Daniel and you see Johnson and those guys who came in from junior college instead of high school, when they get here, how much more of a deeper understanding of the game do you see that they have from coming from a college program?
I feel like coming from high school or JUCO to a D1, a big D1 like Georgia, you have to adjust. So I feel like they came in with the right mindset, ready to work. So I don't think they have any problems just coming in and with attitudes or with anything. They came in, basically fit our program well, and they came ready to work.
So would you say that coming in from junior college, coming in from high school, is it any different, or is it kind of the?
I don't think it's a difference because wherever you go that's new is going to be an adjustment wherever. So it's different from JUCO or high school. When you come to college, it's a whole new world.
When you were a freshman, even redshirt freshman last year, were you having to do scout team? Was that kind of a adjustment? I imagine you were always a starter, or at least a main guy in high school.
Yeah, scout team, it was a big adjustment. It's just a mind thing. But I would say when I went to scout, it helped me get better as a player and as a person.
I imagine you were always the other team's tallest player. What did that mean? Did you end up getting matched up with?
Not necessarily the tallest person, just the best receiver on that team to get a defense the best look as possible.
Did you go up then against DeAndre and in the second JR guy? Did that help you?
Baker, yeah, they helped me a lot. Just work on different parts of my game.
Is it a hit to the ego the first time they say you're going to be a scout team, but then you kind of get used to it and realize that that's how you can impress the coaches?
Yeah.
Have you finished up I mean, you guys could only take 70 to Nashville. That's a lot of really good players that end up getting left behind. Have you been able to share your experience with some of those guys that are probably pretty ticked off that they didn't get to make the trip and trying to impress wherever we can?
I kind of tell anybody, players before me, just had a right mindset, or just don't take it as nothing personal. It's just you might have got outworked, or you might have didn't do something well that you should have done well. But really, I just tell them just keep working hard, and your time will come.
How important is a game like this for guys that aren't necessarily frontline guys that may get an opportunity? I don't know, I'm trying to remember back to Austin P if you got in that game, but how important is a game like this to some guys looking for some chances?
I feel like this game, it's important for everybody because you never know when you're going to get in, and you never want to put bad tape on film. So I feel like even if you get in for one play, just make that the best play ever.
From a team perspective, Kirby was saying the other night that this team hasn't scratched the surface of its potential, where it can go. So as you kind of experience everything on a day-to-day, where are you able to see that? Potential the most?
I feel like every day we just gotta come and work. Even when the days is hot and the days you're tired and the days you don't want to do it, you just gotta come out there and work. So I feel like the more chemistry and the more time we put in together, I feel like we'll reach our full potential.
Speaking of hot, it's supposed to be very hot on Saturday. How are you guys preparing for that? Do you pay attention to that kind of thing?
Yeah, I pay attention to everything. I feel like we're going to prepare well because we prepare well for every team. We always practice in the heat, and the heat is, I feel like, is one of our advantages.
How has Cager fit in since he's been here, Matt? Do you spend much time around Lawrence?
Yeah, that's my boy. I feel like he came in with the right mindset. He had to get used to it a little bit because I feel like his practice in Miami probably weren't as physical and weren't as hot as it is now, but he bought in well and he came in ready to work.
In terms of the quarterbacks, so like everybody talks about Fromm and his intelligence with the offense, but tell me about Stetson Bennett. Is there anything that's unique about him?
Definitely, being that he has a disadvantage in his height, I feel like Stet, he reads the defense pretty well, and he has a great arm.
Knowing, I guess the receivers y'all had to replace last year, I'm sure that had to be a busy offseason for all of y'all. Who kind of organized things? If y'all had to go to passing, with Jake or whatever y'all did throughout the summer, how did y'all kind of take that on?
I felt like everybody was ready to work, even if I feel like the receivers that left were still here. Everybody still had the same mindset to go work. A lot of really kind of Jake, a lot of senior receivers. I haven't really been a real vocal leader because I've never really been a vocal leader, but I'm just trying to work on that and trying to help guys.
Looking back at the Vanderbilt game, is there anything like as a position group that y'all felt like y'all needed to work on more towards this week?
Really just attention to details, just little details that matter, like who to block on this play or the depth on your route and just stuff like that.
Matt, how much more to your game is there that we haven't seen? I know we've seen G-Day, we've seen a couple catches against Vandy. How much more is left from you to see?
A lot left. I feel like I still got a lot to prove, and just keep working. I feel like it's going to pay off.